Today's tutorial is one of my favorites actually. Today we are going to create a simple popsicle ice cream, alright? And as usual, I'm going to take you from modeling down to texturing, lighting, and then we might probably do a bit of animation, alright? So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So to get started, let's create a new blend file. So file, new, general. I'm going to save it. So to get started, let's add a plane. So shift A, add a plane, and then rotate the plane on the x-axis at 90 degrees. That's RX 90. All right, and then tap to go into the edit mode, and then select all the vertices, S to scale X. So we are going to scale it on the x-axis like so. All right, and now let's add a loop cut. All right, so Control R to add a loop cut, and then select the loop cuts in the middle, and then SX to scale, and then we are going to scale it like this, something like so. And now we are going to select the top part of the plane, and then you are going to move it up a little bit like so. And then we are going to select this side, select the bottom, and Control Shift B. All right, that is the shortcut for beveling the vertices. All right, so you are going to bevel the vertices like so. After that, tap to go back into the object mode. Then we go to the modifier properties, add a modifier, and then we are going to add a subdivision modifier. So you realize that you have something like this going on. So we have to go back into the edit mode. Let's do a bit more of tweaking like so, and then let's select this side, shift select this side also, and then you are going to scale them on the x-axis like so. Then let me scale this one also on the x-axis like so. Okay, all right, so this is what we are going in for. And so after that, let's go back to the modifier properties. Let's add a solidify modifier like so. All right, but remember to apply your scale. Control A to apply your scale, and then let's add the solidify modifier like so, just a little bit, probably 0.1 is a bit too thick. 0.6 is okay. And now we are going to duplicate the subdivision modifier. All right, and then we are going to bring it after the bevel modifier like so. So we have something like this going on. Then we can right click, shade smooth. All right, so now we are done with the handle. All right, so we are now moving to the ice cream itself. So shift A, let's add a cube. All right, and then move the cube up like so. Then let's scale it on the x-axis like this, and then I think we should bring it up a little. Scale it on the x-axis again like so, and then to the front, to the side view, and then we scale it down again like so. All right, so we have something like this going on. Okay, and next thing we are going to do is that we are going to give it a bevel modifier, and then we are going to increase the amount to something like this. Okay, and then we are going to give it a subdivision modifier to look something like this. Okay, so at this point it's looking good already, and so we can select the ice cream again, select the top part, make sure that you activate your x-ray mode so that you can see through your selection. So you can select the top part and then scale it down a little bit to look like this, a bit like this. Yeah, and now you can also play around with your bevel so that you can get the kind of shape that you want. All right, so I think I'm okay with something like this. I'm okay with something like this. And just so we don't forget, we are going to save our file. So Control S, save. I'm going to save it as popsicle. All right, and then save. All right, so now we have our ice cream saved. I think I should scale it up a little bit like so. Yes, I'm okay with something like this. Now what I'm going to do next is that you see the ice cream has two layers actually, or one layer on top, the ice cream itself, and then the chocolate layer. All right, so we are going to duplicate the mesh, what we are going to do is we'll duplicate the mesh. So shift D to duplicate and then right click so that we don't move it. All right. And what I'm going to do next is that we are going to apply the bevel modifier. Tap to go, and then we are going to apply the subdivision modifier. Okay. And then we are going to apply it at 2. All right. So we have something like this going on. Then let's select the one beneath, and then let's also make it at 2. Okay. So this is what we have going on. And what I'm going to do next is select the one on top there, the one that we duplicated. All right. And then we are going to give it a shrink wrap modifier. So basically the shrink wrap modifier allows the mesh to take the form of the one beneath, or the target. All right. So with the target, we are going to choose, I think I should name it. So let's, okay, it's cube. All right. So we are going to set the target to cube. All right. So right now you not see anything happening, but what you're going to do next is you are going to tap to go into the edit mode, and then let's change to the lasso select. All right. So with the lasso select, then we are going to select probably, let me see, this side of the ice cream, or let's go into the x-ray mode, and then let's select this side of the ice cream like so. Let's make sure it's in face select mode, and then select so, and then X to delete the faces. All right. So when we delete the faces, you can see that the model is actually deleted, but you can't really see it well. So what you're going to do next is you're going to give it a solidify modifier like so, and then let's crank it up like this until it's showing on the surface like this. And let's add a subdivision modifier again, but then bring the subdivision modifier before the solidify modifier. Okay. So we have something like this. Okay. So as you can see, our ice cream is showing, and then we have the chocolate also on top. All right. So this is what we were going in for. So let's see. Let's bring this up, the solidify on top first and see. Okay, I think the solidify should come later on. All right, so we have something like this going on, and just so we can see our model separately so that we can see what we are working with, let's click on this arrow and then select matte cap. All right, and then come down to the color, choose random, and then let's activate the shadow cavity, and the outline is already activated. So this is what you are going to have so that you can see the differences. All right, you can see the different models that you are working with. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to apply the bevel modifier to the ice cream itself, apply the subdivision also, and what you are going to do next is that you are going to select the ice cream itself, go into the sculpting tab, and then with the ice cream selected in the sculpt mode, what you are going to do next is that you are going to select the draw tool and hold Control on your keyboard, and then let's do a bit of sculpting. All right, so I'm okay with this. So let's go back into the layout, and then let's select the ice cream itself and then give it a subdivision modifier again so it looks smooth. All right, then let's select this, and then yeah, so let's play around with the offset. I think I like this. And then I want to duplicate the subdivision and then bring this after the solidify. Yes, so this looks good to me. So this is what we are going in for. All right, so at this point we are done with the modeling. All right, and then before we move to the lighting and texturing, I just want to add a little bit of detail, all right, using the particle system. All right, so I'm going to add a mesh UV sphere, and then mesh UV sphere, and then I'm going to bring it to the side a little, scale it down like so, and then select the chocolate on top, and then let's go to the particle properties, click on the plus icon, all right, and then let's select the hair, all right, select the hair, all right, and then come down to the source. Let's use, just check the box beside the use modifier stack. All right, then let's come down to the render, and then let's change it from path to object. Okay, and then after that, let's come down to the instance. With the instance, let's select the sphere. So you notice that the UV sphere will appear on the chocolate in, small, in particles form. So let's select the sphere, and then let's scale it down. We want it to be very small, like quite small and not that big, like this size. Okay, I'm okay with this. Something like this is fine by me. All right, and then I want to add one more thing before we go to the lighting and texture, which is to make it like something like a dripping, something as if the ice cream is dripping from the inside. And how we are going to do that is we are going to add shift A, and then we are going to add a meta ball. All right, so with the meta ball selected, let's bring it up like so, and then scale it down a little bit. And now we are going to bring it to, you can place it anywhere you want, anywhere you want to create the dripping effect. So I want it to be here like so, something like this. So let's scale it down, and then shift D. So what makes the meta ball the best option for this effect is that when you duplicate the meta ball and then you kind of bring them closer, they create this kind of effect as if they are merged. All right, so that is the reason why we went for the meta ball. Okay, so let's select the meta ball, and then let's position it. Let me scale this one down a little like so. Then let's select the two of them, bring them up, something like this. So something like this is okay, it's fine. So it looks too big. All right, so this is what we were going in for. All right, so at this point we are done with the modeling. So before we go to the lighting and texturing, let's first of all let's add let's add an empty, and then let's parent everything to the empty so that we can control everything all together. So shift A, add an empty, a cube, and then we are going to scale the cube up to the size of the ice cream like so. And now we are going to select everything, including the meta balls and the handle, and then make sure you select the empty the last. All right, so shift select, and then press Ctrl P on your keyboard, and then select keep transform. All right, so after that, now at this point everything will be parented to the empty. So if you move the empty, you notice that all the objects in your scene move together. All right, so now let's go to the lighting. All right, so let me bring up a new tab from here, bring in a tab from here. All right, and then I'm going to bring another one from down below like so. Okay, and now I'm going to change the bottom one to the shader editor, and I'm going to before that, let me add my camera. So let me add shift A, add your camera. All right, and then I'm going to set my camera. So I want my camera to be facing the objects from somewhere like this. Okay, so just position your view, and then Control Alt 0 on your keyboard to position your view. All right, and then I want my resolution to be 2000 by 2000 in square format like so. Okay, so let me position my camera. So all right, so this is it. Okay, And then so let's go to the lighting. All right, so let's add our lights. So at this side, at the right top corner of the tabs that I opened, this side, I'm just going to view my render over there. So I'm not going to do much over here. Just turn off the overlays and everything, just so I can see what I'm working with. All right, so over here I'll be looking at what I'm working at, my rendered view. So shift A to add a light, and then let's select area light, and then bring the area light up like so, something like this. Scale it up a bit more, and then let's increase the power to say 500. So we have something like this going on. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to duplicate the lights, bring it down like so, and then rotate it to face the bottom. Still the same power, all right. And next thing we are going to do is that I'm going to duplicate the light again, bring it to the side like so, and then go to the plan, position my light like so, and then I'm going to rotate it to point at my ice cream like so. And so for this one, I'm going to increase the power to say 1200 like so, or probably 2000 like so. And for the last lighting, I'm going to add a spotlight. All right, so shift D again, let's bring this to this side, and let's change it to a spotlight. All right, and let's go to the plan, let's position the lights like so, rotate it like this. Okay, let's bring it down. Let's position this, then let's decrease the size like so. Let's increase the power to say 15,000. Okay, and then I think I should increase the size, yeah, and then bring it, rotate it up like so. All right, so basically this is the lighting that we are going in for. And so the next thing we have to do is to add our materials, right? So to add our materials, let's first of all select the ice cream itself, the inner, and then let's come to the shader editor that we have over here, and then let's add a material new. Our materials are going to be very easy. All right, they are just simple materials. We don't need to connect a lot of nodes. They are quite simple. So with the ice cream itself selected, let's give it the color that we want. So I'm going to go with something like should I go with pink? Yeah, I want something like something like vanilla. All right, so I'm going to go with this color, and then I'm going to select the color code of the vanilla, and then I'm going to paste it in the subsurface color section, and I'm going to increase make it a bit more orange, something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the subdivision to say 0.15. okay, so we are going to have yeah, so this is what I'm going to have. And then let's come down to the specular. Let's keep our specular at 0.4. all right, and then our roughness, let's bring it down, way down like this, 0.1. And then what else do we have to do? Okay, I think I forgot something. Let's go to the render properties, and let's activate the ambient occlusion, subsurface, screen space reflections, and then let's come down to color management and increase the look, change the look to very high contrast. Then you can also activate the curves and then play around with it a little like so. All right, so I like what is going on. Then let's select the metal balls tool, and then let's give it the same material as the ice cream. All right, so this is what we have. And then let's select the chocolate. All right, so the chocolate, we are going to give it a new material, and we are going to it's actually a similar process. Just let's select the color for the chocolate. Let's bring this down like so. chocolate should be somewhere here, like so, like this. Yeah, something like this. And then decrease the roughness to look like so, 0.1. Then the specular, so let's decrease it. Oh yeah, let's decrease it like so. And then let's add the subsurface too. So come here, let's add a subsurface. Then let's increase the subsurface to 0.2. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so I like this. And so the next thing we are going to do is that we want to give the chocolate some kind of texture. All right, so to give it that texture, what I'm going to do is that we are going to give it a noise texture. What is a noise texture? The noise texture. So Shift A, and then let's give it a noise. And then with your noise node selected, Control T. With your noise node selected, Control T on the keyboard. And then let's also add a color ramp. All right, so Shift A, search, and then let's add a color ramp like this. And let's collect and then connect the factor of your noise texture to the color ramp. Okay, and then now at this point we can hold Shift Control and then click on the color ramp so that we can see what we are working with, and then we can play around with it a little. So I'm going to, let's change it to object. All right, so that we can see what is going on. I don't know, should I use, let me take a look at the environment texture. Then let's let me connect next texture. No, I didn't use for, I think I used, what was that name? It must be. Let me connect it. Let's go. Let's see what. So I think this is what I used. Control T. So what I did is that I changed the texture that we added to the Voronoi texture, and then I connected the noise texture to the scale output or the scale inputs of the Voronoi texture. All right, and then remember to add your mapping and then your texture coordinate as well to your noise texture. All right, and then connect the Voronoi texture to the color ramp, and then the color ramp to the principal VSDF. All right, so something like this, and then we connect this to this. But then this is not what we are going for, because we already have the color for the principal VSDF. So we need to add a bump node. So bump, Shift A, search, and then let's search for the bump node. And let's connect the color into the height, and then connect the normal into the normal over here. And now we can disconnect the color inputs that we just did. All right, so let's bring down the strength of the bump like so. Let's bring it down to say 0.2. Okay, so that it doesn't look so weird in our model. Let's keep it at 0.2. Okay, I think we need to adjust what do you call it, our texture. It looks kind of weird. It looks weird. It does look weird. So this is object. Let's try UV. All right, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to delete the mapping and the texture coordinates for the roughness texture, and then I'm going to connect the same mapping and texture coordinates for the Voronoi to the noise. All right, so let's place this here and connect this to this. Nope, vector. And let's connect the objects. Let's UV. And then let's connect the distance to the factor. So distance to the factor, like so. And let's increase the scale to like 50. And then what else? Let's skip to 0.15. And let's select the what do you call it, the UV sphere that we added, and then let's give it the chocolate material. All right, like so. We should yes, so this is what we were going in for. All right, so basically we are done with the ice cream itself. We are just left with the handle. So with the handle, it's actually quite simple. Click on new, all right, and then Shift A, add an image texture, and then you can make sure to find any image texture that you find online is okay. All right, or if you want to follow along, then you want mine as well, I'll leave a link to the file in the description so you can download it and then follow along. All right, so my texture is around here. Let me search. Yeah, this is it, and then click on open. Oh, I didn't open it. Select the texture and click on open image, and then select the texture, Ctrl T to add your texture coordinates and then your mapping node, and then connect your texture to the base color like this. And then you can see that the wooden texture is already taking form and it's looking good already. So you can decide to end at this point. It's okay if you want to end at this point, it's perfectly okay. But before we finish the tutorial, I want to add one more thing. If you take a look at the one I posted, if you take a look at the banner, you can see that there was a name on the wooden handle. All right, so let me show you how I did that. So first of all, let's add a mix RGB node. So Shift A, search for mix RGB. So mix RGB node, and then add a different image texture node. All right, like this, and then Ctrl T as usual. And what you're going to do next is that we are going to open. So basically you can open any image editing software. It could be Photoshop, CorelDRAW, Affinity, Illustrator, just anything at all. And then you need to type the name that you want to place on the wood. All right, so make it black on white. So the text should be in black and then the background should be in white, and then you export it as a JPEG or PNG. Anyone will do. All right, so then you come back to Blender, and then I'm going to open the image. So this is the image I used. The name is Kizzy on it. So let's open the image. All right, and now let's connect the color of the image in black and white to the factor of the mix RGB node. All right, and then after that, connect the image, what do you call it, the wood that you added to the color too. All right, so we have something like this. So right now you won't really see what is going on, but if you are to select the mix RGB node and then hold Ctrl Shift and click on it, you will see that something will be going on. Or if not, you can still go into the UV editing tab. So what you're going to do is that with the mix, what do you call it, with the image of the text, we are going to change it to UV editing. Right, so it's on UV editing already, and so we are going to go to the UV editing tab like so, and we are going to do a bit of UV unwrapping. Okay, so before we unwrap the handle, let's first of all apply the modifiers that we have. Apply the solidify also, and apply the last subdivision. I think you can keep the last subdivision. All right, so make sure you are in the edge select mode, and then let's select these edges around these ones, make sure you select these edges, shift select, shift select, shift select, like so. So we are selecting the edges that goes around the stick or the handle, like so. Select, 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 2. And with the edges selected, right click and then choose mark seam. All right, and then select one edge of the one in the middle of the faces in the middle, and then right click and then mark seam. Now after that, go back to the face select mode, press A to select everything, and then U, and then select unwrap. All right, so when you come to the left side of the screen, you see that your model has been unwrapped for you. All right, so what you're going to do now is that let's go back to the shading tab, okay, and then sorry, the layout, rather, we are the layout, not shading. So let's go back to the layout and let's select the image with the text. All right, the image with the text, okay, and then let's go to the UV editing, and now let's select the one on the left, this one. So you can, so depending on which angle that the camera will be facing, then you choose where you want to place your image. So for me, I think I'll position my camera on this angle, this side. So I think it's here. So I'm going to select one of the vertices of this UV and then press L on my keyboard. Sorry, what's just happened? So I'm going to select one, select L. So press L, and now I'm going to move the UV over here. But before that, let me change to my rendered mode so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to move this here. Okay, it's at the other side rather. And then I'm going to rotate this like so. And I'm going to scale it up like this. So as you can see, something is going on the left side. Let's see, I think it's supposed to be something like this. Yeah, and so position it like this, scale it up. So then let's bring this back here like this. All right, so this is what we want. This is what I'm going in for. So let's go back to the layout. And so if you come back to the layout, you can see that the name appears on the handle. All right, I think I should increase the size a little. So this here. Back to layouts, yes. So this is what I want. All right, so as you can see, sometimes when we add not even sometimes, when you add a name, you can see that it kind of changes the shape or the appearance of the wood texture. All right, so what is happening is that it's not much of a problem. Just select your wood texture and then come down to the scale, all right, or the rotation. Then let's rotate it like so. Let's rotate the grains like so, just to make it look nice like this. And after that, let's come back to the principal BSDF, then Ctrl+Shift+click to connect everything to the material output, and then you will see that everything will just start taking shape. All right, so I think you connect this to the base color. All right, so as you can see, the name is there. All right, so that is how you add the name to the handle, or basically any object at all. Okay, so let me go into the camera view and change to rendered, and now we can see what we have here. All right, So this is one sumptuous and succulent ice cream, right, that we've created in Blender. Okay, so basically this is it for the tutorial. If you want to add the other I don't know what to call it actually, something like this sweets that I placed around, all you have to do is just add a circle and then extrude it a little, and then add some insertions, insert it a little bit, and then bring it down, add a subdivision modifier, and then place it around your scene, and then you can, you know, add the colors if you want. All right, so basically that is it for today's tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys learned something from today's video. So if this video was helpful, I'd really appreciate if you can like the video, subscribe to the channel, all right, and then turn on the bell notification icon as well, so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so thank you for joining, and then I'll see you in my next video.